So it begins, my trip down to Lexington 2020. I am on my way right now. I left the Meadows right after race 11. My GPS said 5 hours, 24 minutes will be the estimated time. I suspect that'll be a little shorter. I can shorten that up by a little bit, I think. I would never speed, but I'm not familiar with all the speed limits along this road, so one never knows. The day today at the Meadows. Let's start off with last night. So I sat down last night, got to watch the horses race. Very proud of Tipsy and Dixie. James did a great job with her. Just a good filly, right? Just grinds away every week. Worst she's ever finished in her life was fourth, and that was in the Gold. That was my blunder. Remember, I missed to put her in the grassroots, and we ended up racing her in the Gold. She raced so good, trotted in 58 at Grand River, and finished fourth in the Gold. That was the furthest back from the totem pole, from the head of the lead that she'd ever been. You know, I think she's first or second or third in every race, and an easy kind of winner last night. She should be razor sharp heading into the grassroots final now. All we need is a decent draw, but tough to find one of those this year. But a decent draw will probably put us in a pretty good position to do well in the final. And then, you know, I had somebody message me last night, literally say, Brilliant Corners hasn't seemed as good of late. Brilliant Corners paced 53-1 last quarter and 27-4 last night, and finished 6th or 7th. You can only ask the horses to go so fast, and for somebody to judge, you know, any of the horses. Adrenaline Rush race huge last night. Came from 9th at the 3/4 pole to finish 5th, like 53-2 or 53-4-3, something like that. 28 seconds on the end of it. Race good, closing and digging through the wire. That's what you want to see. Brilliant Corners did all he could. He can only just go so fast. And for somebody to say, well, you know, I guess he's just not good enough. Okay, I guess the 2-year-olds at pacing 53 aren't good enough. Come on. Good horses. They're going to be useful horses. Brilliant Corners, from what we thought he would be in January to what he is today, quite a difference. Quite a difference. So, both the pacing colts raced rather well. Great miles, nothing to be ashamed of. A 5th and a 6th or 7th. One in Adrenaline Rush is going to the final, and Brilliant Corners is not. That leads us to Beef and Cheddar didn't get in. He was also eligible 1. That sucks. Also eligible 1 heading in. I would suspect it's almost time to maybe turn Brilliant Corners out. Although he didn't make a ton of money, he squandered some. 3 disqualifications in 1 year, I believe. It's impressive. That might be a record. I think Brilliant Corners, I had paid him into. He is paid into the Harvest Series, but I don't know if we'll race him there or not. Depends on. If the one thing it is hard to gauge is, was he tired? He may be tired also, but there's no way to know when they go in 51 in front of you. Was he tired? Can he just not go enough? So I'm not really sure. I'll leave that up to Harry. I'd say at this point, right now as we talk, driving down the road, I would suspect it's a coin flip. Are we going to race him in there? I don't know, because I know there is one other horse that is paid in there, and his name is No Free Lunch. So he's got the Gold left. Hopefully, not hopefully, he drew. You know, somebody said to me last night, you know, that horse that won the grassroots, you know, why would they race that horse in the grassroots? Well, he wasn't ready until he was till later on. He wasn't ready till later on, and he's not a Gold colt. You want to see some tough characters? Go take a look at the Gold horses, not just No Free Lunch's division, which is tough as whalebone to begin with. Look at the other division too. I said, we got the tough division. Then I looked at the other one, I'm like, kind of both really tough. That's a lot to ask. And, you know, for a horse that James told me the other day, he didn't think he'd get around a half very good. And now we have him in a position where he has to really rock his first start on a half. I don't know about that, but I wish them all the luck in the world, Harry and James, heading into the Gold. He virtually has to win to get in, which is tough. So we need a favorable finish. If we don't, he still has the Harvest Series left, and then that's it for him for the rest of the year. Now, when we're talking about years winding down, we know that My Jazz, her year is over. She's in the field. Not for any other reason than she ran out of races. She had a great year, put away some pretty good money, did great, really gave me my first win at Delaware County Fairgrounds, which was awesome. and had a great year. A number of the other horses are out. Some of them are coming back in. We're bringing Let's Roll On back in. Italian Great only had a short time off, month off for him. He's back in now at Ohio. Still haven't received our Trixton horses. The shipper couldn't bring them until Saturday or Sunday. Monday at the latest, he said. It's almost a full week since I bought them. I was kind of hoping to get them to... First, he said he couldn't bring them to Northfield because he was shipping a pile of horses to Lexington and didn't want to go to Northfield. Okay, drop them off at the Meadows. I'll break them at the Meadows myself. Couldn't even get them here in time for the Meadows. So I think when I get back, they'll be in Northfield and they'll be broke and going. Broken going. So I got hiccups. What's worse than that? So the two Trixtons will be back. I would suspect by the time I get back from Lexington, they will have been in Northfield, broke, and hopefully jogging. We'll see what kind of headway Jason makes with them. Then today. So we went today. I woke up. I've been doing videos. I stayed up till 3 o'clock, quarter to 3 in the morning 2 nights ago, 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday. I got all my lists done. All of them. Now, these are preliminary lists. There's like 90 horses on my I want to see list, and I whittled that down to 46. 46 that really, really have caught my eye. Now, these are 46 horses. Some of them might be a little more expensive. Some of them might be value plays. Some of them might just be middle of the road, lots of meat on the bone. Hey, let's see if we can get this horse for as little as we can type of horses. But there's 46 of them there. So we'll see how that plays out as I get to Kentucky and start looking at them tomorrow. I'll have lists for you. I will do my list, my day 3 list. I can't, it would be unsafe for me to do it going down the road. I could, but then I couldn't go into the depth I want to for each horse. So it would be an injustice to you. It would be a disservice to you if I did my day 3 list while I was on the road. Let me get settled. I'm going to be in Kentucky at 9 o'clock. I was going to have a meal with Mark. I'm actually staying. Mark and I are staying together this week, all week. I want to talk about fireworks. Lots of stories to be told, and it's lucky. It could be worse. I stayed a week in Cuba with my father, and the Vegas odds were against us not killing each other in that week. So Mark should be a cakewalk. I do like hanging out with my brother when I get a chance to, though. We were here, and actually we were in Pennsylvania having a drink and having something to eat at the steakhouse. The night James went down and broke his collarbone. So I remember that. So a little segue for that. James went down the other night. Everybody messaged me, oh no, is James okay? Is James okay? So I text James. Yeah, everything all right there? He goes, yeah. He said, listen, I got some good news and bad news. I'm like, all right, what's up? He said, good news is I'm fine. I landed on my back and kind of my side. I didn't jostle my shoulder, but, of course, James is such an idiot that he went back driving early that his collarbone's not healing properly at all. Not healing. I shouldn't say not healing properly. Not healing. He went to the hospital. Doctor said, Mr. McDonald, your collarbone's not healing. We're not sure what's wrong. I said, did you tell them why it's not healing? Did you happen to fess up and say, it's not healing because? He said, yeah, I did. Yeah. So obviously he's going to have to take a break at some point and let it heal properly. But it's got to hurt. It's got to hurt. So anyway, he goes down, doesn't hurt his collarbone. I said, oh, that's good. What's the bad news? Bad news is I got a flat tire on my bike after race 1, so I was using your bike when I went down. So James demolished my new UFO bike that was sitting at Mohawk locked up. So, I guess there's insurance through COSA. Now they said, we'll take the bike to make sure that nobody tries to fix it, and then, we'll give you a check for $2,500. Well, that's super. Bike's $4,000. So, I just thought about it. James, you owe me $1,500. Anyway, enough about that. So I get up this morning. It's cold. I had to wear my turtleneck, and all I have over here is summer suits. So there's no, and it wasn't really a spring and fall suit type of day, but it was chilly. It was borderline. it was probably 13 or 14 degrees. When I got down to the meadows, now the hotel is on the property. I drive around to sign in for race 3. Braemar is going last trip at 12:20. I just happened to see somebody coming off the track. It's muddy. I didn't even know it rained. So they're screening it and putting material down and screening it. So by the time race 1 goes, they've called for fenders. It's a muddy track. And it's cold. It's a little bit of a cold wind. By the time Braemar steps on the track, they've now taken the fenders off after race 2. The track is damp and wet, but not muddy. Not muddy at all. So I said to Tim, kind of sucks. I was hoping for a good day because I really want to stretch this guy out. I don't want to send him to Philadelphia for nothing. And Philadelphia is next Friday. Now, I'll be honest. I can't find a flight from Lexington to Philadelphia, Philadelphia back to Lexington in time for the sale. But that was Lexington to Philadelphia. I'm going to look at Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati's a 40-minute or 45-minute drive from Lexington. Theoretically, I could get up in the morning, drive to Cincinnati, fly to Philadelphia, fly back to Cincinnati, and still be at the sale in plenty of time because day 5 is going to be a big day for us, right? That's where all the Ohio breds are. That's where a lot of the Ontario breds are. Some other horses that breeders have asked us to watch for them. They're on day 5, so I have to be in Lexington on Friday the 9th. So I'll have to look into that. Don't quote me. Don't say, you can make it. There's no flight from Lexington to Philadelphia. I can get there in time to drive Braemar, no matter the time, but there's no flights back that get me there before 8:30, and they're connectors. So let me look into Cincinnati. No guarantees. Next Friday, Braemar races in Philadelphia at the Harris Chester in the Simpson, the Liberty Bell. I don't know, one of the two, the Simpson or the Liberty Bell. And there's no walkovers there. It's going to be tough racing. But make no mistake, that was a big mile today. On the front end with a headwind. So he had the wind in his face coming to the half and down the lane. Fought through. The horse on my back is a 3-year-old on my back. And Braemar fought him off. He had me collared halfway down the lane. And Braemar fought on to win. Yeah, I had to dig into him a little bit. And I had to get at him. I said to one of our clients, those lackluster trips, the only difference between Ontario and here was the urging rule. I could get after him a little bit here, and you simply can't in Ontario. So I think he knew that. I warmed him up hard, and when I called on him at the head of the lane, man, he was really pacing. And it might have been 28-1, but that was into a pretty decent headwind. So a big mile from Braemar. I don't know how much he had to do today to say, yeah, I'm comfortable to go to Philadelphia, but I suspect that was enough. It really should have been. So next week will likely be his last start of 2020. He has turned into be quite a horse. That's 2 miles and 53 as a 2-year-old. The one today was very impressive. To leave from the rail in 26-4 and then slam the door on them 29-4, a half, and 56-3, and then start back up and hold off a 3-year-old down the lane. Big mile from Braemar today. Big mile from Braemar today. Then I come out in race 5 and raced Arctic Forest. He lost his shoe again. So the problem is he's close to grabbing the corners of his shoes, and his feet are so frail to begin with, it isn't that hard to rip it off. So we're going to have to, I told Tim what we're going to need to do, take all the glue, because he has fiberglass on his feet, because they're all chippy and really weak feet. I said take all the glue off, trim them up real good, and find somebody that can weld aluminum and glue the aluminum window bars. So the outside corners of both his feet, or inside corners of both his feet are sore. We put window bars on. I've told you guys what window bars on. For those of you who maybe don't know, that's a bar shoe, and the shoe is actually off the portion of the foot that is sore. So it's called a window bar. Now window bars, it's easy to weld them with steel shoes, and that's what he had on today. But you can't glue steel onto a foot, not very well. But you can glue aluminum onto a foot. So we're going to have him trim all the feet up, build good-looking feet on him, and glue those shoes into the glue, and they won't be coming off. For sure, and he's another horse. He pouts a little bit. I called on him at the head of the lane. The wind hit him in the face, and he lost a shoe, and he said, I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it today. And he ended up 5th, beat 2.5 lengths. He raced okay, but he should have finished it off. He should have finished his dinner, so to speak, and he did not. So, we know how to fix, we know how to work on Arctic Force. Got to keep the shoes on his feet, first and foremost. Secondly, we have to glue aluminum window bars. Aluminum shoes are not easy to weld. So Tim says his blacksmith sharp. We're going to see how sharp he is. I know the guy in Ohio. I'm pretty sure he can weld aluminum. We'll see. Anyway, we have a way forward for Arctic Force. I had a number of people message me today and say, hey, where's Spirit Dio? She didn't get in. For the first time in a while, the class didn't fill. So she won't be racing this week. Not the end of the world. I'm not really enthusiastic about watching somebody else drive her. With the litany of drivers we've had driven her in the past and never had any luck, I just as soon drive her myself. So I'll be back to race her on the Tuesday. Hopefully she doesn't get in with globetrotting. I guess I'm the MCO, both of them. Both those fillies kind of fit the same class. So I wouldn't say they're headed in different directions. 2 starts ago, globetrotting's mile was great. We know what happened to her the other day. Her liver count was up. I don't know why, but when their liver count gets up high, it's extremely, they never race good, ever. I've seen lots of horses race, and then they race poorly, you draw their blood, and their liver count's high, they always race poor, always. So you can treat that up with milk thistle, just like what it sounds like, same as what humans get. Milk thistle, clear fluids, and things of that nature will drive that liver count down and keep it down, help clean her out. And I think that was the biggest problem with globetrotting the other day, but we'll see. She's looking for a bounce back race in her next start. So that's what's going on with them. Rose Run, why not? Makes her first start at the Meadows. Tony Hall is going to drive her. I think she's a good fit for Tony. I talked to him briefly about her. Said, listen, this is a really nice filly. We got parked the whole way in Delaware. She did everything she could to start before that. We had a tiny bit of vet work done on her, trained her up real good. She should be ready to go on Tuesday. I'm as excited about watching the horses race when I'm gone away as I am watching our horses go in the ring. So a big week coming for us. I've zeroed in on almost 100 horses I'm going to look at tomorrow. Of those 100, 46 I can tell you right now I really like. After I lay my hands on those 100 and on those 46, I'll have a much more concise, probably buttoned down list. But I don't want to be too buttoned down. I need to be aware of the fact that there's a lot of horses going to be selling at Lexington, and I want to see every single one of them go through the ring. So that is it for today. I'm on my way down to Lexington. I'll be there around 4 hours from now. So lots of driving left. Thought I'd shoot you guys off a video of what is coming up and what took place today. Very proud of Braemar. He raced great. Arctic Force will race better his next start. I'm certain of that. And good luck to the horses racing tonight. A great job by James last night with Tipsy and Dixie. And I didn't really get to touch on how good No Free Lunch looked the other night. My God. 51-3, almost October. 51-3 driving away from the field. Just a great mile, and I hope that helps you guys understand how debilitating allergies can be for racehorses, young horses. The line is so thin between healthy and just even a little unhealthy that, you know, No Free Lunch got beat into grassroots. Right? Now, granted, we had to cry out his curbs after that, his left curb, I believe, and he was clearly, right curb, he was clearly better after that, but before that curb was bothering him, he was kind of almost in the way in the golds. And this colt, you know, we knew it when we qualified him in June. He was a real good colt. He didn't really show up in the races the way we thought, but man, oh man, he certainly showed up on Monday. I hope he gets around Flamborough, gets a chance to race with those horses. Love to see him in the final. Regardless, we still have the Harvest Series coming up for him. Win, lose, or draw. So, that is it. We'll talk to you guys soon. A lot going on this week. I'll be back to you later on tonight with my Day 3 horses I'm interested in looking at. And then tomorrow, we start our live inspections. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Hope you're having a great day.